I played basketball all my life. She just snatched that camera.
We're really hungry right now. We haven't eaten in like 12 hours. Is our food there? How much time we have?
So did you guys go to the same van rental people we did, or?
We don't need anything specific. And from my knowledge, right now, and 4K is just what we need to have a seamless experience.
So he goes to AirC.com, he signs up, and like it's made of complex ceramics. It comes in two colors, and it's the custom bands, everything you would expect from a fashion retailer. Most importantly, what does it do?
Robotics, all the way from B-Town.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Acosta from Robotics, and I'm here to show you guys a fundamental breakthrough in actuation. An actuator is like a transistor for motion in the sense that it converts energy from a battery into useful work that will power mobile products that move. For example, exoskeletons. So you all might have wanted to be Iron Man, but it doesn't exist yet, at least not outside of military research labs, conglomerates building ships and yards, or rehabilitation centers. And that's all going to change because unlike gears, which transfer that energy inefficiently and expensively, and they're heavy, we've invented a fundamentally better way to do that. And with this device, robots are going to come out of the labs and they're going to go into the homes. And people are going to be able to do incredible things stronger, faster, and with more stamina. It's kind of like the engine. And as you guys know, in a car, it's all about the engine because that's what makes the thing go. So this actuator, it uses an electric motor and it spins it at a high speed, and this is where a gear would usually go. Instead, it's called the conical differential drive, and it converts that motor's motion into linear motion, just like your muscles do. So with the cyclone linear actuator, we can build powerful mobile robots that can do the back end of e-commerce, or they can bring people strength and reduce injuries in shipyards. And most importantly, they can come into the home and they can take care of us when we're older. And they can do things like fetch you some milk or tie your shoes. So we're starting with really simple integrations into industrial automation and products where weight matters. And we're proud to launch this important invention that's going to change the way things move. Thank you.
Hey David, how do we feel about the end of days and the rise of the robots that are going to have superhuman strength?
Yes.
Thanks to MIT.
It does seem like a spare part of the Terminator or something like that. I'm a little bit at a loss because I really don't feel like I have the expertise to possibly judge whether this works or not. I feel like is there a robotics expert on the panel? I mean, I'm definitely not the guy.
I think we seem to be saying that the conical actuator is more efficient than a gear-based. What's the percentage difference? If you can give us some idea of that.
So for example, if you had an electric nail gun, in it, the gears are going to be about 8% efficient from the battery to the motion that you're looking for. And we can do close to 60%. And we can do it at a lower cost because it's made out of plastic and it can be injection molded, and this one's actually 3D printed. Whereas gears are precision machined metal, and they have to be because the pressure is so high that they need to be hard and they need to be perfectly smooth.
Why hasn't this been done before?
Well, it's an ancient technique in the sense that you can use ropes to create a gear reduction, and the Chinese did this with the windlass, but the problem was that it wasn't compact enough. I think the reason it hasn't been done before is because it took us 4 years, and we built a team of some of the smartest people I've ever met, and and we've thought long and hard about how to make it really small, and we were able to go through iterations every 2 weeks with 3D printing. And we were able to get this out there with support from people like Bill Warner and our other great 10 angels, and we were able to find a place where it was needed. So I think
what's the application going to be? Do you have an application?
Yeah.
The first application of this technology?
So the first application is with a robotic system integrator who's building a product that they can't really talk about for oil and gas applications where they have to lift heavy things. We're also working with warehouse automation companies who need to pick up heavy boxes. Maybe you bought a pair of shoes and you want them tonight or tomorrow morning. And in order to do that, the robot has to grab the box, fly across the warehouse, go back and set it back down again. And each time it's picking things up. So we rip out
when
the
it's picking
gears.
things up versus the gear, this saves much more energy. Is that what you're saying? It's 10 times more energy efficient? Is
It
that
can
the
be
savings?
100 times more power dense.
So does that save money on making it or save money on operating it?
We're most excited about the things that it enables that aren't currently possible. So exoskeletons are $100,000 and they're limited to niche applications.
What will an exoskeleton cost with your product in 5 years if you get $1 million in more funding?
I think we can do it for $2,000 or less.
So you see a time when people will print an exoskeleton at home or buy one for $2,000.
I think we would sell a component to an exoskeleton company that could make it for hundreds of dollars and then sell it for thousands.
What year will we get our exoskeletons?
We're gonna have prototypes. They already exist. There's a Japanese company.
No, I'm talking about when am I getting mine?
You could buy a Japanese one for $5,000 right now.
Right. Okay. When is everybody gonna get one though? Like, when does it become a mass market thing? Because right now people are flying drones, and like we flew one almost to Alcatraz off the end of this pier, I understand, and that was kind of mind blowing for me because when I saw it last year, you were only able to take these things like you wouldn't take them over water.
Yeah.
This guy had one out there, and he's like, yeah, of course you go over water. There's nothing to worry about. I lost connectivity, it came back, of course. Like, that's in a year or two, these things have changed. So how quickly will this actually become commercialized, and we'll have exoskeletons at home and be, this is what people will do on Thanksgiving? And, you know,
realistically, 5 years, it's going to first go into industrial applications where we can prove out the reliability.
So in 5 to 10 years, we're going to be having these at Thanksgiving dinner.
You're going to see them in elderly care facilities and industrial shipyards, and then ultimately, probably at the end of that, 10 years.
So picking up grandma and grandpa and moving them out of the bed, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually, nurses break their backs 3 times more often than construction workers.
Wow.
Yeah, the Bureau of Labor Statistics and NPR did a great piece on it.
Well, any more questions from our panel?
So is the business model IP licensing components or
Oh, yeah.
the actual?
We're down at the base. We want to be like the Intel for exoskeletons.
Wow. You have patents on this?
Yep. They're issuing in July, PCT in the United States.
Jesus Christ, you come out of the demo pit. This guy's going to be the first demo pit company to win.
The tagline you just mentioned, the Intel for exoskeletons, you should typically, that's called burying the lead when that comes out in the Q&A. That should be the first thing you say, when you get on stage and pitch your idea.
We're the Intel exoskeleton. Can we give a huge round of applause for
I want to thank
Okay, next up is Get Point. Thank you. Well done. Are you ready, Get Point? I'm ready. Okay, you have 2 minutes on the clock. Unless fantastically fascinating and interesting, and then I double it. 3, 2, go.
Awesome. So I have one. I'm working on Points, which is the kind of exoskeleton for your browser itself.
So you saw 6 companies, and those 6 companies were, recapping, got it here somewhere, it's like Columbo. One thing, Fountain from Aaron Patzer, Detective High from Stockholm, Unoceros, Rise Robotics, BioWare, and Get Point or Point. I want you to tell me your number 1 and your number 2. Take a minute to think about that. Give me your number 2 first, with why you picked it as your number 2, then give me your number 1.
Silicon Valley and making that accessible to people everywhere. So we've taken our model, our mentors and speakers, and have launched a platform where anyone can now be a member of the team.
Awesome, well done. Okay, so let's hear a little bit about what you thought. Dave, who's your number 2, who's your number 1?
Well, let's see. First of all, I thought it was a great crowd of entrepreneurs. Everyone had really creative ideas and great products. If I was going to look at this from the point of view of an investor, the two that I would probably want to invest in the most would be, Aaron's idea, because I like the idea of the mobile expert network. I'm not so sure about home and garden being the first vertical, but I trust Aaron as sort of a repeat entrepreneur to figure that out. And then the other one would be the security, sort of the do-it-yourself security.
Detectify.
Yeah, exactly, the do-it-yourself security product, because I just think the demand for that is real. I mean, what I don't know is how this compares to existing solutions and like whether the product actually does everything it's sort of supposed to.
Which one's number 1? Which one's number 2?
Well, I would say that Detectify, what I would do probably next is I get like a real security expert like John Harrigan to come in and actually like diligence it and make sure it does what it's supposed to. But if it did, then I would say that's probably the best.
Okay, great.
So I think we saved the best for last. The last two I really like. The last one point as a consumer, I'm a sharer. I send out lots of articles, and that one really slick. I'd love to see that. I agree with David. I'm not sure it's a company, but as a feature, so I'd love to see that out there. On the rise of the robots or the Intel exoskeleton company, we're big believers in solving hard problems. They've solved a hard problem. We're believers in robots, and I take it for granted that there's some real technical stuff.
Awesome, you picked them as number 1. Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. And Mike,
So my number 2 was Robotics. I think they're solving what seems to be a pretty difficult engineering problem. To doing it. The number 1 was Unisource, because I think just the sheer ambition and the gentleman's ability to answer your questions and the data he had at hand seems like they've done a pretty amazing job with basically being able to resell spare capacity.
Amazing. Okay, let's hear it for our judges. Well done. And thank you for being here again. We're all going to go next door and next to Connect. We're throwing the opening night party. Let's all get a drink.
All right, Jason, what did you think? What did you think of Rise?
They rocked the conference.
Yeah.
And I want my own exoskeleton now.
Yeah.
I want an exoskeleton, I think, more than I want a drone.
Well, you know what? They're trying to stay practical. They want to make the exoskeleton for you. That's what they want to make. I think they're scared to say it.
I think they should just say, fuck it.
Yeah?
We're making an exoskeleton. And if other people want to buy the parts along the way, fine. But I think they get a $5 million investment because they're going to build an exoskeleton. Even if it's just to lift stuff. Just hands, like not even legs and full body, but just a one-handed one. If they can prove a one-handed one and people start buying it to just lift kettlebells, bells or something, holy cow. So anyway,
just to give you an idea, Blake's the guy who designed the thing. He's already working on a thing like that. He calls it Power Talons. It's a backpack with these things that come over and grab stuff.
Dr. Octopus.
What? Yeah?
Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you for bringing it.
But, so they can do it. And,
I believe
so I'm where you are. It's like, make the damn thing and just get people.
Yeah, the world wants bold people right now.
Right.
It's not like it's 10 years ago where people just are like, make a proof of concept. People are like, build the thing.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I think if you put it on Kickstarter, it raises $1 million. Just to build an arm.
Yeah, yeah.
$10,000, $1,000 arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can just give it to them.
They would eventually rediscover some childhood connection. Maybe not COVID. Yeah. But no, it's a great. I hope it works out.
Before people come
time? You wanna
This is an example application of putting the simulator running very high-speed motion, and that's better than hydraulics. It's cheaper. It's much cheaper than hydraulics. It's more efficient. How much would a hydraulic set of that simulator cost? Probably thousands of dollars. For injection, then you have to use valves or anything like that, or manifolds and meters. Yeah. So this is much more affordable. It'd be a little bit larger than a hydraulic for that application, but because it's stationary, it doesn't really matter.
To make their way forward and find a seat. And you happily. Okay, shut the bar down, please. Thank you. Great, awesome. Okay, let me bring up the files. Welcome. Please introduce yourself and the best hardware, which is a new category we've done for the last couple of years. Marc, come on up. Marc, one of my oldest friends, one of the most brilliant people I know, and living in Sydney. Again, back to that international league. We'll give the award and then we'll talk about it. The winner of the Launch Festival Best Hardware Award in 2015 goes to
Rise Robotics.
It's unbelievable. Rise Robotics. I found out about Rise Robotics literally a week ago. Bill Warner, one of my good friends from Boston, who's an angel investor who created a little piece of software called the Apple Video Editing System and has since dedicated his time to investing in startups, said, this startup's amazing. I said, if they're that amazing, why don't we give them a demo pit table? Why don't we get them out here at the festival, get on a plane? He got on a plane. And what did you think of it when you saw it?
There's the old way of making robot actuators, and there's the new way of making robot actuators, and Rise Robotics is the new way. It's more efficient, it's cheaper. I spent a lot of time talking to one of your designers today. They will be able to 3D print robot components, something you could never do before.
It's amazing. Okay, we're seeing the future. Let's take a quick photo, and then we'll hear some comments from the Rise Robotics. That exits your spot right there. You feeling okay? Yeah. Okay, look at the camera. You look like you're about to faint. It's gonna be okay, kid. Okay, give me one. Okay. How do you feel right now? I mean, a week ago, you didn't even know this event was going on.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
Okay, but you have to say something.
I would think 3D printing for existing, because we would have ran out of money a long time ago if we had to make expensive prototypes. I want to thank the team for believing and supporting us through some pretty hard dips and being there. I want to thank all the believers, especially Bill Warner and Walt Winchell in Boston. There's a real hardware revolution happening in Boston. Greentown Labs, Techstars. I want to thank our sponsors like Maxon and Fender Drives.
Now you got a lot to say. What was your part of it?
The late sessions for inventing the...
Okay, so let's say something. Thank the mom or something here. MIT, thanks a lot.
I would say thank you too. It's been great. We both love our people.
Awesome. Congratulations. Rise Robotics. Good job.
Way to go. That's awesome. Told you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, say your text, you gotta change the settings on Twitter.
It's like yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. What a week. What a week. Publish.
Yep, I did. Yeah. Awesome stuff. I mean, just man, the impact and everything. It's not even compared.
And these guys handle like 1,000 bitches a week. So
Yeah,
they
this
just want
is, I don't know if you actually has a chance to meet Aaron, but
great job.
you should chat.
How's it going?
Thanks.
Yeah, you guys spoke earlier.
Yeah.
I gotta.
I'm not sure. I don't have any keys on that. Aaron has the keys. Aaron, I might have the keys in my jacket. Yeah, Ketchup Pack is gonna taunt me. Take it away.
Take it away.
Actually, I'm tired of ketchup. My trip was soured by ketchup in the very beginning.
Reactions.